Peace, fam. It's your brother Cool. Out here. This is something I might be about next soon. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, so there's some trick or treaters just now. But I'm out here, so I might be about next soon. A lot of y'all know it is New York State territory. So we really need to get an understanding of what trust law is and what it means to have an estate and why it's even important to claim an estate. So what I'm going to attempt to do is, from this point forward, I'm going to relate everything as I possibly can to trust, to kind of get or help get those who are trying to get their mind wrapped around it, make the concept of the transition a little bit more peaceful. So there have been videos where I've used the example, when it comes to trust, you use a family, because the trust is based on the Trinity principle, mother, father, and child. Mother, father, and child. So the mother's position within the trust would be the grantor or the creator. The mother holds the child for 9 months. She's breastfeeding after the child is born, so there's a lot more of a connection between the mother and the child, right? In resonance with the father and the child. There's a lot stronger connection because the mom is the creator. And the father or the male is what we call the trustee in the relationship, or in the trust, where the trustee has the authority to take pretty much take orders from the grantor and do everything that is necessary to secure whatever the grantor is leaving for her beneficiaries, and the beneficiaries would be the children. So the mom lays down the law, the father enforces the law and protects that which the mother has laid down and secures it for the benefit of the children, so that when they come of age, that inheritance may be passed down. And this is how trust law is operated. So right now, as I stated before, we are in what you would call New York State, but to help us wrap our minds around trust, this is New York Trust. So I'm in New York Trust right now. And within New York Trust, I have my own private trust within New York Trust, an Aboriginal trust, because the entire continent is my homeland. So just because I move or I travel from state to state doesn't mean that I left home. I'm still home, okay? I'm still on Somal, Maghrib, Amexum, the Americas. So no matter where I go on this continent, I'm always home, and I'm always in a superior state and condition because I'm always within my inherited jurisdiction or inherent jurisdiction. And inherent jurisdiction would be meaning that I am always within the laws and protections of the Moorish Empire, because I have tied myself back to the empire. So with that being said, my jurisdiction goes with me, so I can take a trip overseas, and overseas I am still protected by the Zodiac Constitution, as well as the Constitution for the United States Republic of North America. So, and of course I'm still protected by the peace treaty. So right now we're in New York Trust. All right, the Constitution is a trust. It's a contract where those in office are holding those positions in trust and have an obligation to perform and do what's best for the betterment of the community, aka the people. Now, the people can never be people if they're considered property. And the only way you can be considered property is to be considered a 14th Amendment citizen, or a corporate citizen, or a persons, distinguished from a natural persons. And just know that whenever you hear the term natural persons, that means indigenous person or aboriginal person, off bat. So we are not persons, we are natural persons, if you really want to play the game, right? Because we play in chess. And on this game of chess, the name of the game, or what we perceive as chess, is really called trust. All right? So we're not playing chess, we're playing trust. The game is called trust. And the name of the game is who can create a better trust. Okay? There's a lot of people waking up who want to gather together with people of like minds and who want to form their own indigenous communities and exercise their autonomous right to do these great things on their land. Give me 1 second. Right? So we have an obligation, we have a right on our land to do what we can to create the greatest experience we can have and our heirs can have, or our children, So if the Constitution is a trust, that means that within that trust, all persons who have origins in peoples, which would exclude Black or African American because they don't have origins in people. They just come from some Black social group in Africa somewhere. Who the hell knows where that's at? So name of the game really is status, but it's not about the paperwork. See, because the paperwork can be right and exact and there, filed on the record. But if your actions show that of someone who is still thinking like a minor, then that paperwork don't mean nothing. The paperwork is only as good as you are. So that means you better always be better than the paperwork. If at any point in time that paperwork is your crutch, you should not file anything at the county if that's going to be your crutch. Because you're supposed to be able to stand without the paper. You put that, you're filing that paperwork on the record so you don't have to say the same thing a million times. And so that you're transparent and people know what you're doing and they know that you're not doing it fraudulently or with malintent. You understand? They want to know that it's authentic, it's genuine, that you're the real thing, you're the real deal. So, understanding the trust, we can create businesses, right, under trust, and we can operate with each other. So there's ways to operate and do business other than using a social security card. There's ways to operate and do business rather than taking out loans. There's ways to operate and do business rather than doing a typical 9 to 5 for the next 40, 50 years. And at the end of all that, you cannot own any of those things that you believe you accrued because you yourself are still considered Christian property or chattel. Why? Because you, not because the system, because you classify yourself as Black, Negro, African American, which have no origins in people anywhere on this planet or this plane called Earth. So we need to get our mind right. And upon getting our mind right, you understand, because a lot of people do this secured party creditor process, and their intent is they want to become a secured party creditor. But what you should understand is that when you nationalize yourself, you become a secured party creditor. Natural persons are secured party creditor by default. By default. The only time that gets dismissed is if they're not operating properly under that status. But other than that, once you proclaim yourself to be of the land, you are a secured party creditor. Point blank period. No UCC necessary. And this is why I don't feel the need to deal with UCCs, because trust law bypasses all of that. Why do I have to go through 1,000,001 routes just to proclaim myself to be free on my land? It should be a 1, 2, 3 process. A 1, 2, 3 process. And one of the biggest things that I find that a lot of people who are sharing this information, right? We as a collective are not specifying the process. We are not being clear on the process. We're being very general. And because we're being very general, we're prolonging we're prolonging the activation process of the kundalinis of those future gods or sleeping giants. So by us not being clear and straightforward and to the point in the understanding of the process, step by step, we have failed and we are still failing. Thank God for those who want it bad enough. You know what I'm saying? The real Moors, the real Americans, right? The real natural persons. So with that being said, everything that we do in society is built off of trust. So if you can claim yourself as an Aborigine, right, of a descendant of the original peoples here, of the ancient Americas, right, because I was here long before any of this stuff was here in existence, New York Trust and all this, Delaware Trust, treaty this, treaty that. I was here way before all those things. Way before all those things. I existed way before those things, and I continue to exist way after many millennia after those things. All right, so I've always been here. There's never been a moment in time where I have not been here, if you understand what I'm saying. So this land is me, and I am this land. Birthright. Now that I have my birthright, I know how I need to operate on my land, because there's certain things I can access because of who I am, like treaties, for instance. This is why I'm saying when you operate through your trust now and you operate properly, you can form tax-exempt, indigenous, aboriginal institutions to where you can focus your energies as a tribe on building revenue for yourself, building a way to support and fund your autonomous operation. Because the name of the game is to be self-sufficient. The name of the game is not to be sovereign but yet still needing the United States. No. The name of the game is to be sovereign and remain sovereign and do everything in a true sovereign capacity. And to do that, you have to be of one accord, of one mind, of one understanding, and of one goal. Hidden agendas won't get it accomplished. The reason why it's taken us this long to get to this point is because motherfuckers have had hidden agendas all across the board. Hidden agendas. Fuck that. It's prolonging us. Why? I'm not fucking with people who want to slow us down. That's bullshit. We don't need to be slowed down any longer. We need to be allowed and left to our vices to progress at whatever speed we choose. So what I'm saying is we're switching gears. I'm switching gears. You switching gears. If you're watching this video right now, you're switching gears. You're turning up on them. And when I say them, I mean Caucasians. Because to call the Caucasians Europeans is to give them a birthright. They are not Europeans. They are not of the original peoples of Europe. That would still be us. So they are not Europeans. We got to turn it up and get crystal clear and specific. They are Caucasians. Nothing more, nothing less. I won't honor them with giving them the European birthright, because that still isn't their birthright. They are landless peoples. They don't have, they aren't indigenous to any lands here because they are not of this planet. I'm sorry if that sounds harsh, but that is what it is. And the law don't give a goddamn about my feelings or your feelings. So that's my approach. The law doesn't play sides. Either you're wrong or you're right. Don't matter who you are. Either you're wrong or you're right. And so if we're going to be in this high mighty position of we've always been attacked, we've always been this, we've always been under slavery, we've always been under servitude, bullshit. We were doing great things and we were putting other people in the position that we're in today. That's why we're in the position we're in today, because we don't put other people in the same position. It's called karma. So we need to stop. We need to get off that high horse. I'm a noble, this, that, and the other. No, that don't mean shit. We fucked up. And it slowed down our process and our progress. So now we gotta play catch up. It's like we're doing the same thing twice. We should have only done it once and been way surpassed this point. So, for that reason alone, certain angels have been sent to do specific things. Okay? I'm one of those angels. You are one of those angels. So let's get to work. Okay? Let's get to work. We got to be able to operate properly. So let me backtrack now, going down to the business aspect. Understanding how to operate a trust, you can go open a bank account in your trust. You can do business in your trust. You can be a subcontractor, all right? And operate in ways using a W-8 bend. And what a W-8 bend does is when you establish a foreign entity, right, as an American, because we're not of the United States. That's why we're foreign to the United States, and the United States is foreign to us. We're not foreign to America, because the United States is foreign to America. It's not America, it's of it, right? So, that being said, once we start operating in trust, we can access or exercise tax exemption. We can claim tax treaty benefits. Tax treaty benefits, meaning we don't have to pay taxes because we're not obligated to pay taxes because we have treaties in place that are still standing to this very day, collecting dust. And we're over here thinking that that's the white man joint. So we need to get past that point. If we can't get past that, we're not going to rise. And I'll be real with you. I'm not drowning, or I'm not going to be left behind for the sake of nobody. So my first goal, or my first priority is always me first. Because in order for me to get the information to where I'm even in a position to share with you what I know, I had to think about me first. And then once I discovered the possibilities that I opened up for myself, damn, why can't everyone else enjoy this? Why can't everyone who's of melanated complexion, who is of this land, enjoy the same rights that have been granted to them by the very same ancestors that I breathe? The very same ancestors whose blood goes through my veins. So what makes me any better than you? What makes it right that I get to enjoy rights that you don't? Lack of knowledge. You don't know yourself. You look at me walking down the street and you would automatically think I'm Muslim. You wouldn't even bother to think that I was from New York, born and raised, grew up, am not religious at all, has nothing to do with religion, and that I'm not Muslim, that I'm Moorish, that I'm a scientist, and that I study very highly in the art of jurisprudence. But see, you would just think that I'm some Muslim that does prayer or salat 5 times a day. And we need to get out of the patterns of those stereotypes. Those stereotypes are lame. And I need to get out of that, because if y'all still on that level, you need to wake up. So as many times as I go out and people give me weird looks and they may even laugh and stuff because they don't understand, I understand the ignorance. So I can confidently be myself in the midst of anything that stands in front of me, because I believe in myself and I know the truth. So, with that being said, family, it is the age of knowing. And if you don't know, it's simply because you chose not to know, not because you didn't have an opportunity to know. You chose not to know. So now you got to deal with that consequence. Right? I choose to know, so I'm going to do things a little bit differently. I'm going to break the cycles. I'm going to break those pointless cycles that have produced no results for us. So once again, the name of the game is trust law. And if you can understand trust law, you got the game. And I'm your brother. I'm here to build and work with you. So you know how to hit me up. Message me, 206-899-6972. You know what I'm saying? I do offer a private consultation. I help people nationalize. Meaning I help with the process, step by step. Meaning step 1. What is step 1 of the process? Step 1 of the process is, because the slave name that you're currently doing business under is liened on, meaning someone owns that and has the copyrights to that, you need to find a new free name to do business in. So the first process of nationalizing is to go within yourself and realize what the name of your true God is. That's number 1 process. You see, but no one lays it out like that. They don't lay it out that you need a new name, a free national name, because if you are the only you on this planet, that means that the name that you pick for you will be the only name of that kind on this planet. Why? Because you are the only you of your kind on this planet. So, and that's why it's unalienable. It cannot be leaned on. That title, no matter how you contract with it, it cannot be leaned upon unless you are ignorant and unable to defend it, to defend your crown. So it's about that time. It's time to square up. Square up or lay down. But if you try to stand up and you ain't straight and you ain't on your square, be prepared to get knocked down. And every time you get knocked down, it's going to be harder and harder to get back up, because the message is right in front of your face. It's right in front of your face, and you don't want to realize it or acknowledge it. But I'm your brother, and I'm here to build with you regardless. So, hit me up. Let's get to work. Islam. Peace.